After the final earthquake tremor knocked down the unluckiest building in Tilted Tower, Season 8 has arrived, bringing with it a new theme of pirates that's already got more content in it than Sea of Thieves, and map changes including that long-rumored volcano that was streamed for hours on end staring at Loot Lake way back before Season 6 was over to discuss. First, let's get into the patches. There's a new environmental item called the Pirate Cannon, in which you can either shoot cannonballs or yourself, in a throwback to Secret of Mana's cannon travel centers, which deal 100 damage to enemies if hit directly, or 50 damage within a small splash range, as well as plowing right through objects like the now vaulted X4 Stormwing airplanes used to do before the 7.40 patch. In addition to the planes, the shopping cart and golf cart vehicles, along with the wintry themed Sneaky Snowmen and Chiller Nades, have all been sent to the vault. Although not being vault, the higher tier versions of assault rifles will now drop less, with the lower tiers increasing such that the overall number remains the same. There's also plenty of map changes with the new season, starting with Wailing Woods getting a giant volcano that obviously contains streams of lava that deal 1 damage per touch, as well as causing players to bounce off of that surface, and volcanic vents, which will be needed for one of this week's challenges, more on that later, that act similar to those glow holes in the corrupted areas from a prior season that boost players and vehicles into the air with a gust of hot air, which is symbolic of the excuses of why Metro Exodus fucked over Steam for Epic Games. In place of Wailing Woods, there's a new name location, Sunny Steps, that is the next logical evolution of Tomato Temple, but now even more generic looking, as it was ripped straight from the pyramid design featured on the block a few weeks back, because of course Epic will take other people's ideas and use them as their own. Speaking of which, the block has moved to the northeast of Pleasant Park, by where the motel that resembles the focal setting of Schitt's Creek used to be, and in the former location of the block, Risky Reels is back for people that were distraught that a mediocre drop spot was replaced by something that's actually kind of cool and dynamic. Lastly, since nobody is playing golf in the wintertime, Lazy Links has been flooded and renamed Lazy Lagoon, because now that Loot Lake isn't shitty for traversing anymore, we needed a slow-moving area to fit the seemingly out-of-nowhere pirate invasion theme. Lastly, on map changes, although not actually on the map, the spawn island has a more tropical feel to it, which doesn't match the fire versus ice conflict that's playing out right before our very eyes. In addition to the new places on the map, you don't also need to pull out the map in order to spot places, as Epic has integrated a shittier version of its greatest competitor, Apex Legends' ping system. 1 tap for a location, 2 taps for an enemy, and items on the ground can be called out to your teammates with distance indicators included to increase the amount of antisocial activity when you're #forever alone, and use the fill option for playing more than just solos. Lastly, in new features is a challenge party assist option for either daily or weekly challenges for shitters that somehow can't complete the mundane ordinary tasks that get in the way of playing the actual game. The selected challenge will allow your party members to provide progress towards your own challenge in addition to the paltry counter that you slowly accumulate on your own, but this doesn't work when choosing the fill option nor in big team game mode, so you'll actually have to have friends to take advantage of riding their coattails. Of course, every patch can't come without its hiccup, so there was a hotfix released earlier today for having eliminated players actually drop materials, and Epic are still investigating players falling through the map at the volcano spot. However, I thought you were supposed to sacrifice virgins into a volcano. Isn't that the point of them? Maybe that bug is actually a feature after all. There's also a new set of weekly challenges, first for people that don't either have access to their mom and dad's credit card or were too lazy to complete the overtime challenges in the past 2 weeks, with searching chests at Junk Junction, where you should never land, or Retail Row, which won't be as popular now with all the new spots on the map. A stage challenge starting with dealing damage with a shotgun for a normal person, or explosive weapon if you're a douche canoe, in a match, followed by a pistol and assault rifle, and lastly an SMG or sniper. So at least in each tier there are weapons that you won't be agonizing over. And the final task is to visit all 7 pirate camps, which are this season's expedition outposts, because Epic is the greenest company around, always recycling old ideas, but the locations are shown on this map here. For the people that stupidly paid for something that Epic was giving away for free with the premium pass, you'll need to deal damage to a vehicle being driven by an opponent, which should be much more difficult now that 3 of them have been vaulted. Getting an elimination with a shotgun, assault rifle, and explosive weapon to force you to play like a fuck trumpet for the last one. Using one of those aforementioned volcano vents in 5 different matches, which means that you're landing in the upper right hand portion of the map as shown here. And finally, visiting a giant face in the desert location south of Paradise Palms with the 70s porn stash, the jungle to the east of Sunny Steps near a hill with a zipline, and the snow to the east of Happy Hamlet facing outwards towards the location where the cold front first came in from. Once you complete all of them, you'll get rewarded with this loading screen shown here, what Leonardo DiCaprio would look like being the king of the world in a game for kids instead of a softcore porn for adults, and the location of the battle star is shown on top of a white tower in Lazy Lagoon. That is some more obvious symbolism for how Epic can give away the premium battle pass because it's made so much fucking money. Just like a Billy Mays commercial, but wait, there's There's more challenges, as there are now 10 weeks worth of discovery challenges on top of the weekly battle pass and random dailies, which grant new loading screens, icons, and even a new skin once you complete all 55 weekly challenges. The first stage is to complete all of the challenges from a given week, with the other challenges incrementing that weekly requirement. This means more than enough carrots to dangle to earn items that aren't in the battle pass, like pirate skins that actually do fit the theme, random ninjas, western cowgirls, raps, pets, and even a fucking banana costume that completely doesn't fit the theme whatsoever, and of course a reminder that this is a kid's game after all. Even though we do know that the glider earned for obtaining a victory during Season 8 looks more like what royalty gets fan with by slaves, which was a mainstay during pirate times, and it doesn't look so great now, there have also been leaked cosmetics in the new patch. For skins, there's Iconic, spelled with a K, to differentiate it from Ubisoft's quote iconic. That is again one of those weird ninja thingies. The Bandolette version of Rambo in the hashtag MeToo era for the jungle. Carbon Commando for players that like helmets with no eye holes. Hypernova if you like the colors of the New York Knicks and have a third eye. Mesmer, a green tiki stereotype. Sunbird for yoga moms that also have mask fetishes. Munitions Major, a ripoff of Tropic Thunder, and the stereotypical farmers Hayseed and Sunflower because spring is coming after all. Thanks, Pugsatani Phil. Pickaxes include Dragon's Claw that neither looks like a dragon nor claw. Flawless that sneaks in the snake medical icon here. Swag Masher, which is something you should never make potato dishes with. Gold Digger, which is what Kanye West was calling such a fucking hoe in that awful song. Unihorn, that is neither a unicycle nor a unicorn. Axe Tech, finally a play on words that actually fucking make sense. Brute Force, that's a palette swap of that dragon one. And Machete, where that blade looks anorexic as fuck. With back blings is High Caliber, a set of Spiny Wings. Sun Wings, that matches that generic temple theme. Mutiny, a wheel that's seen better days. Carbon Pack, that's like a keg party gone wrong. Hypnotic, that looks almost as awful as the alcohol of the same name tastes. Oscilloscope, and a shout out to nerds on Reddit that put sound files through spectrograms to decipher clues about upcoming game leaks. And finally, Haystacks and Sunsprout that are ripped from Fatal Fields. Only a pair of gliders here with Choppa that comes straight out of one of those Arnold Schwarzenegger mobile game adverts, and Sunrise that doesn't look anything like the ball of gas which we orbit around. Lastly are emotes, Dragon Stance to make fun of those out-of-place ninjas. Same goes with this here Fandangle. Fierce that resembles its Urban Dictionary definition more so than Webster's Dictionary definition. Scenario that isn't a dance from A Tribe Called Quest, and Shadow Boxer because we're bringing other sets of fighters into this season's theme somehow now too. Finally in leaks there's the Hamster Ball vehicle, which is similar to the pet, but it's in the same folder as the Driftboard and the recently added Cannonball, so it might be a giant wheel that gains momentum as you're trapped forever on the cycle, like a metaphor for the constant stream of challenges that Epic is throwing our way with this season, which is rumored to end on May 8th, giving us exactly 70 days for this season. So if you end up hating it, don't worry, it's only slightly longer than the 2 months, pretty much the 10-week cadence that we're all used to. Anyway, what do you think about Season 8 thus far? I've been The Schwans27, over like Jason Witten in Monday Night Football. Until next time.